So, who doesn't love a good donut? I love a donut. My boy loves a donut. Covered in nice cinnamon sugar. Absolutely beautiful. And this time of the year, we're going to make some donuts, but we're going to make them with a bit of a Halloween twist. And we're going to fill them full of toffee apple sauce. So let's show you how to make up the dough for your donuts, and then I'll show you how to make up the sauce. So to make this donut mix, or this dough if you like, what you're going to need is you're going to need one of these, okay, a 7-gram packet of fast-acting dry yeast. And you can buy these in the supermarket, a pack of 6 for like £1, okay. One of them, you're going to want some butter, some caster sugar, some flour and some milk. Okay, let me show you what to do with this yeast, and then we can show you what to do with the rest of the ingredients to get this dough started. So we've got a small bowl here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a tablespoon, we're going to take 1 tablespoon of our flour, 1 tablespoon of our caster sugar, and pop that into the bowl. And we're going to add the fast-acting dry yeast into there. And get that mixed together. And with that mixed together, we can set that aside. And over at the stove, we're going to need to get our milk lukewarm. Okay, so we have a pan on the stove here, okay, a small pan. What we're going to do is we're going to pop our 310 millilitres of milk into the pan. And get that onto a low heat. And basically we're going to want to bring this to a simmer, okay, just so that it's lukewarm, and then we can add our yeast. Now what you're going to need to do then is, once your milk is lukewarm, so you can just pop your finger in that and it feels warm, is to put your yeast, flour and sugar mix into the milk and mix it in well with a fork. And there we are. So we can move this off the heat now, okay? We're going to set this aside and let the yeast react with the warm milk, okay? Which should take about 10 minutes or so, and it'll start to bubble and form a froth on top of the milk. So we'll pop that aside, and while that is reacting, what we'll do is we'll get the flour, the butter and the rest of the sugar all put together. So there we are, there's our flour, our soft butter and the remainder of our caster sugar all mixed together in a bowl. What we'll do now is, once this yeast has woken up and reacted properly into the milk, we'll add that to this bowl and we'll form our donut dough. And there we are, our dough has now been kneaded for about 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes, and it's nice and smooth, okay? It's now ready to go into a clean bowl, cover it with a tea towel, and let it prove for about an hour. Okay, so while our dough is proving, which is like I said, it's going to take about an hour or so, what we're going to do is we're going to make up our toffee apple sauce. Okay, and this is going to start off with a 440 milliliter can of apple cider. Okay, what we're going to need to do is we're going to get this into a pan on a stove, bring it to the boil, and we're going to boil it down for probably about 20 minutes to half an hour until it forms a thick liquor. Let me show you how. Bring it to the boil. Okay, so the last few minutes of this reduction of the apple cider, okay, what you're going to do is you need to get yourself a wooden spoon. Keep a close eye on this now because it's going to go into a syrup quite quickly in a matter of a minute or so. Okay, so keep giving it a stir until it thickens up to that syrup consistency, and then we can make the rest of our apple and toffee caramel. Okay, so our toffee apple caramel sauce is all made up. What we're going to do now is let that cool down, okay, because it's quite thin. And what you'll find is it'll thicken up as it cools, okay. Meanwhile, it's been about an hour now since our dough was left to prove. And we've just looked at it and it's doubled up in size. So it's time to knock that back and cut out our donuts. Let me show you how to do this. Okay, so we've got our dough here and we're going to get ourselves a nice floured surface. Lightly floured. Going to turn this out and we'll just knock it back. So just re-knead it if you like, knock it all back down. There we are. So once that's knocked back, what you want to do is try and flatten him out. Okay, stretch it out, flatten it down. There we are, so we've got a nice sort of flat sheet now of dough. What you're going to need is to get yourself a 2-inch cutter. Okay, it's fluted on one side and plain on the other side. I'm going to use the plain side and we're going to cut out hopefully about 12 donuts out of this dough and get them resting, reproving, ready to go in the fat. Okay, so a 2-inch cutter, let's cut them out. Okay, so with our donuts all cut out now, we've got about 12 out of there, okay, but I'd probably get another 12 as well, so we get 24 altogether. We've got them cut out and we formed them into little balls of dough now on a greased baking sheet, okay. We're going to get these covered now with a tea towel and leave them to prove for about another 45 minutes, and then I can show you how to cook them. Okay, so with our cinnamon sugar all made up, ready for the donuts, what we're going to do is going to get them cooked. And down here we have a pan with about 1 litre of olive oil. And we're going to cook our donuts in there. Okay, so we want to get that temperature up to 160 degrees. We don't really want it any higher than that. Anything between 150 and 160 is spot on. You're going to want a slotted spoon and a plate with some kitchen roll on here for draining them off. And we're going to cook one at a time. Okay, so let's get our donuts and let's get them cooking. Okay, so these donuts should take about 6 minutes to cook. Okay, so get each donut on your slotted spoon and straight in to the oil. And get that cooking. Okay, so with our donuts, which are all pretty well cooked now over there, I've cooked 8 of them, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to let them cool down for a little while. We're going to warm up our toffee apple sauce, get it in a piping bag and get them piped. And then we can dip them then into our sugar and cinnamon, and you can just tuck in.